There will be a lot of information in the tens of thousands of court documents set to be released.
So we have compiled a list of specific questions that our team will be trying to answer as they pour over them. WPRI.com reporter Ted Nesi has been covering this story since it started and continues our in-depth coverage tonight.
Of course, until the documents actually come out, we won't actually know what's in them. But we already know there are two specific moments in this 38 Studios saga that people will be focusing on, the beginning and the end. Now, the first question we'll be trying to answer, how did 38 Studios' relationship with Rhode Island really start? We already had a significant development in that timeline last month when Target 12 unearthed a court filing that said former House Speaker Gordon Fox met with 38 Studios officials without former Governor Don Carcieri's knowledge. Lawyers say that meeting happened even before Carcieri and Curt Schilling began discussing a loan for 38 Studios. Fox and Carcieri both gave depositions in this lawsuit that will be released, though court filings say Fox pleaded the fifth. The other big question, what happened behind the scenes as 38 Studios was collapsing in 2012, and how did former Governor Lincoln Chafee respond? Curt Schilling has accused Chafee of sabotaging the company when it was on the ropes, and their deposition should shed more light on those final weeks of the company. But of course, with more than 60 depositions and thousands of pages of documents coming out, it's certainly possible there will be some true surprises in there, and we'll be combing through them to find out. In the Tech Center, Ted Nesi, Eyewitness News.
38 Studios inside the scandal is just beginning.
Our team of Target 12 investigators is standing by, ready to comb through the documents as soon as they're released. And we'll be updating you in the days leading up to that moment on air and online at WPRI.com.
And coming up on Eyewitness News at 6:30 on Fox Providence, we'll take a look at the next steps and what impact the Friday's hearing could have on the case. We're bringing you in-depth coverage tonight on the impending release of the 38 Studios documents, and joining me is WPRI.com reporter Ted Nesi to talk about the next steps in the process. So we just heard Tim White mention in his story that the judge scheduled another hearing on talking about sealing some of these documents. That hearing scheduled for Friday. So how much impact is that going to have in this big release?
We don't know for sure, Shannon, but I think for the moment, I'm not thinking it's a huge impact, because what the judge decided today is that all the court filings, all the motions that have been made in this case will be unsealed, and all the depositions, more than 60 interviews with everyone from Don Carcieri and Lincoln Chafee to Gordon Fox and Curt Schilling, that will all be released in full with all the exhibits used to question them. So getting all that information, that's a huge trove already. The documents on Friday go even deeper into the case, but one of the lawyers said to us today, look, the really interesting stuff is what we used in the depositions, and you're going to get that.
Okay. Now, all along, on a separate note, we've talked about how many documents, tens of thousands, the undertaking this is to release them to the public. And today you talked to the person in charge of that, the clerk. So how is he getting things ready? Where do things stand, and how is he going to distribute those documents?
So right now, the court clerk, they're waiting for the lawyers to sort of upload all the remaining documents that aren't on file yet so they can have the full case file together and ready, the records to be released. The clerk said they're looking to create a website so that the public can get to those documents. They think it's likely next week we're going to see those. Could be as early as this week if things move quickly, but I think it's safe to say by the middle of next week they should all be available.
Really making them accessible to everyone in some form.
Exactly.
All right. WPRI.com reporter Ted Nesi, thank you so much. And remember, you can count on Eyewitness News to take you inside the 38 Studios scandal. The Target 12 investigators are preparing to comb through the documents just as soon as they're released, and we'll be updating you in the days leading up to that moment on the air and online at WPRI.com.